Today's headline is Van Amburgh's Ticket Wagon. It says, the following dialogue is a sample of those which occur around the ticket wagon every day. If any of our readers doubt it, they are requested to come to the Van Amburgh show at Makokata on Friday, October 2nd. We once heard a person say that the woman has never been found who can buy a ticket and get herself safely into the tent without raising a general commotion and bothering everybody else about the place. And then she always looks as though she thought she ought to be presented with a new silk dress or a diamond pin for coming to the menagerie at all. There was a woman of this kind who visited Van Amburgh's Menagerie at Kingston, Pennsylvania in July of 1873. She got down to the ticket wagon about 5 minutes after the doors were opened, and of course she didn't have any ticket, so she stepped up to the office to buy one. First she asked the clerk what time the menagerie opened. 1 o'clock, madam. Oh my, it's most over, exclaimed the woman, somewhat excited. The performance doesn't commence until 2 o'clock, replied the ticket seller. Oh yes, I forgot, said she, and then she took out her watch and found it was just about 3/4 of a minute too slow. Of course she didn't alter the watch, she never intended to, but it was a satisfaction to know just how things were. By this time, there were 15 or 20 more women and a dozen men behind her, waiting for a chance to buy their tickets. But that woman paid no more attention to them than a drunkard would to a procession of beautiful ladies on a temperance raid to the first saloon of the town. Finally, she remembered that she wanted a ticket, so she felt for her pocketbook and could not find it until she happened to think it was in her bag, which was harnessed to her waist. So she got a hold of that and wiggled and twisted until she got it in front of her and managed to find her pocketbook. Of course it had money in every compartment, and the money was all waddled and twisted up so that the pocketbook was ready to burst. First, she unrolled a lot of large bills and rolled them up in a better shape. Then she looked over some 2s and 3s, but did not give them to the gray-whiskered ticket man for fear he would bend a bill, and finally concluded not to have a bill changed. So she rummaged around and found a lot of postal currency, but it wouldn't pay to have the clerk make change for her, so she hunted until she found a 25-cent stamp and 2 dimes. Then she got a 2-cent piece, and then chased a 3-cent piece all through that pocketbook until she succeeded in capturing it, when she laid down the 50 cents and looked at the ticket man as though she expected to hear him thank her for saving him the trouble of making change. But nary thank, nor did he even look as though he meant to. Have you got the Seegers, children? Inquired the woman. Yes, madam, was the reply. Do they hang by their necks on the ropes up high? Continued the woman. Every day, replied the ticket man. Dear me, she muttered in a low tone. There are plenty of men that ought to be hung by their necks higher than those children. Of course, one would naturally think that when she had purchased her ticket, she would have got out of the way, but she wasn't quite ready yet. She had to look at the ticket and put it into her pocketbook and put that into her haversack and wiggle that back where it belonged. And then when she got to the doorkeeper in the narrow passageway leading to the menagerie, trouble begins anew. She had to stop and go through the performance again before she could see the elephant. Here she talked to the doorkeeper like a Dutch uncle and really thought it a shame that a lady could not come to see the animals without so much trouble. She said, it's more trouble to get in after one pays their money than it is to get on Vanderbilt's Harlem cars without a ticket. Then she saw a woman behind her with whom she was acquainted, and she couldn't wait another minute to talk over that terrible affair about poor Mrs. Smith. In the meantime, the 15 or 20 men in the rear were talking about her. Most of what they said is in the Sunday school prayer book, but not exactly in that order, however. Here she remembered that she wanted to see the animals. After viewing them for a short time, she thought she would like to see the man enter the den of lions, and being just 1/2 minute too late, she had to run. So did the men, and they all came near missing the circus, all because that woman couldn't attend to business in a businesslike way. After the show was over in the afternoon, she was asked by a friend, Did you see the circus? Well, yes, replied the woman, but I didn't want to see the circus. I just went to see the animals and got in a high seat for fear of the elephant. And so many men got in front of me that I couldn't get down, so there I had to sit and look at the circus. How'd you like the show? Inquired her friend. It's the best you ever saw, said she, becoming excited. Their dogs and little children are just as cute as they can be. I'm going tonight and taking all the folks, and intend to go early with the correct change and not stop to bother until half the performance is over. There's a moral in this story. This story originally came from the Connorsville Examiner of the state of Indiana. This story came from the great state of Iowa. Being reported, in the Jackson Sentinel of September 24th, 1874. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.